Thanks to the release date drawing closer and closer, Animal Crossing New Horizons has been getting a ton of news updates since the last time I made a video about it. So it's time once again for me to run down all of the new information and anything I didn't fully cover last time for you guys, because everybody else on the internet has been drip feeding the New Horizons info in multiple videos and articles strewn about the internet to milk you for clicks, and nobody has time for that. So if you're an Animal Crossing fan and find videos like this useful, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell here, because we plan to have plenty of Animal Crossing content in the coming weeks, and it won't be a bunch of nickel and diming you with little teeny updates. With that being said, let's talk about it. The biggest topic on everybody's mind is without a doubt how New Horizons handles save data. Whether it be specifically in regards to local saves or cloud-based saves, there's a fair bit of confusing information on this. First and foremost, we need to talk about how the game handles the saves for the deserted island your villagers will live on. It's been confirmed by Nintendo that each Nintendo Switch console will be limited to having only one island. Nintendo has said that additional saves on other profiles on the Nintendo Switch console that the island is saved to will only allow for up to 7 additional islanders that will all inhabit that single island that's tied to the console. There's been no word on whether or not buying international copies of New Horizons could potentially be the solution for adding additional islands to your Switch, so there might be hope for a cheaper option than buying a separate Nintendo Switch or Nintendo Switch Lite, but right now they seem pretty adamant that it won't be easy for fans to have multiple islands, so I wouldn't bank on it personally. Also, I'd like to add that an unclear aspect of this is how the game will handle online and local wireless play in this regard. Nintendo has said that up to 8 players registered as users on a Nintendo Switch console can live on one shared island, and up to 4 of those residents of that one island can play simultaneously on that one console. I would assume that the way the online play works is it will be temporary visitation like past Animal Crossing games, or in my opinion, more interestingly, one player will be the host to other players on their own island. So for example, say I make an island and invite the rest of the #CuteBoys to join me on it via the Call an Islander feature. They would then each get a tent on my island for their islander that would permanently stay on my Switch, and I'd only have space for 4 more additional islanders. But then they would have their own separate individual islands on their individual Switches to do with what they want, rather than everyone having that one island tied to their Switch. So if you're concerned about having the ability to completely have control over an island of your own while still having the ability to play with friends, just be sure that your island isn't the host island when you play the game with other people, or of course, if it's temporary, you don't really have to worry about it. Another important local save data announcement is that New Horizons won't have support for local save data transfers. There was initially some confusion of whether this meant between the 2 ways to transfer data locally, transferring user data and/or transferring save data, one of those 2 would be supported. But it sounds like neither of these options will be possible in New Horizons after all, likely due to the way the game seems to deal with saves being a master save for the island and then separate saves for individual islanders. This means that if you are a part of the roughly 30% of Switch Lite owners that also owns a regular Nintendo Switch console, you won't be able to transfer New Horizons save files back and forth like you can with other Switch games. I'd imagine the mini solution for this is to make your Switch Lite the host for an island and create an islander on your regular Switch to be able to play on one island across those 2 consoles. This is a very confusing choice from Nintendo, and I'm not sure what exactly their reasoning could be, but there is at least a saving grace as far as concerns for lost saves due to some kind of hardware failure or the loss of the console go, and that is a perfect segue into the cloud save situation. In Nintendo's E3 2019 Direct, they announced that Animal Crossing New Horizons wouldn't support the Nintendo Switch Online cloud saves feature. Since then though, there's been some progress made, because in a recent statement, Nintendo said, "This game does not support the save data cloud functionality of Nintendo Switch Online. However, a limited ability to recover Animal Crossing New Horizons save data from the server in the event of system failure, loss, or theft will be available to Nintendo Switch Online members sometime in the future." That's not exactly what I'd like to hear in a perfect world, but it's nice to know that they work to come up with some kind of solution. And for those who were asking in the last video, yes, this game's online features, including playing with friends online, and the save feature that they mentioned, require a Nintendo Switch Online subscription. It's worth noting that if you preload the game from the Switch eShop, a 6.2 GB download that you can get right now by the way, you'll receive a code code for a 7-day trial for Switch Online. That probably won't do much for you on the save data front, but at least you'll get to play with friends for a week, or 2 if you use the 7-day sign-up trial first and redeem the New Horizons trial when that runs out. On a more positive note, another recent announcement was the reveal of the brand new Animal Crossing New Horizons Special Edition Nintendo Switch. This is by far my favorite Special Edition Nintendo Switch to date. It's always nice to see Nintendo think outside the box when it comes to their Special Edition consoles, unlike their Smash Ultimate console. That was a low point, but I digress. I think I at least need to buy those Joy-Con, which luckily can be purchased separately in Japan. The same is true for the dock. So if you, like me, already have a Switch and you'd like to get your hands on either, the option to import is always there. I'd also like to add that this game only comes bundled with this Special Edition Switch in certain regions. If you live in the US or Canada, you'll have to purchase the game separately, but if you live in Europe or Japan, the bundle comes with a digital code for the game. While I'm on the topic of buying a new Switch, if you're a part of the group of people that asked if this game would come to the 3DS family of consoles on my last Animal Crossing video, I want to be clear that this game isn't exclusive for Nintendo Switch, so that means you'll need to buy a Nintendo Switch or a Nintendo Switch Lite to play Animal Crossing New Horizons. Also, at the risk of making this the FAQ section of this video, yes, the Nintendo Switch Pro controller will be supported by New Horizons, and yes, if you still have any Nintendo Switch Online game vouchers left, you can redeem one for New Horizons. Next up, there seems to be confirmation that Animal Crossing New Horizons will have some kind of in-game purchases, whether this be an expansion in the same vein as a lot of the other major Nintendo first-party titles have gotten, or if New Horizons turns out to be a nightmare and we get Pocket Camp-inspired microtransactions is currently unclear. But if I had to bet money on one or the other, I would say it'll probably be closer to option A than option B. Nintendo understands console gamers have different spending habits than mobile gamers, so it'd be shocking to see Nintendo turn New Horizons into Animal Crossing Pocket Camp 2. Semi-related to Pocket Camp, by the way, for better or worse, New Horizons is confirmed to be the next Nintendo Switch game to receive its own applet within the Switch Online mobile app. That'll obviously mean voice chat support, which is blah, but more interestingly, it also means there will be some sort of gameplay support feature, like an online exclusive shop of some sort similar to Splatoon 2, maybe a calendar with reminders for in-game events, and more. Another new announcement that we've gotten recently is the confirmation of Animal Crossing Amiibo support. This will likely mean that if you have an Amiibo figure or Amiibo card for your favorite villager from a past game, you should be able to scan them in to move to your New Horizons island and they won't move away. Other than that, there's been a number of small passive confirmations through newly released footage and other advertisements for new and returning villagers, new patterns, paths, decorations, clothing, things like that. Some of the bigger things of note that I'd say came in the form of the announcements is the fact that in the most recent New Horizons ad, it's revealed that the islands can vastly differ from the one shown off at E3 2019. This suggests that islands are perhaps randomly generated and will likely be at least a bit different from one another in terms of the map's layout. Also, it looks like the islands will be able to be expanded on some level with higher areas that looked inaccessible in past footage of the game, now having a staircase that makes them accessible. Apart from that, I really don't think the smaller details are something we need to spend much time on. I personally find those things better suited for discovering yourself in game, but maybe that's just me. If you feel differently, feel free to let people in the comments know your favorite new detail that I didn't mention in this video. Keep in mind that I did already make a few Animal Crossing videos covering past info, so no need to reiterate any of that. And with that being said, the only thing left for us to do is wait. I'm positive that we'll be getting an Animal Crossing New Horizons themed Nintendo Direct sometime before the game releases, so we'll likely get more clarity on the save data problem. We'll definitely learn more about how online multiplayer works in regards to the island limitation and more. We'll learn something about how holidays and other events like bug catching contests work. We haven't even seen how exactly upgrading our tents will work, or any peeks at what that'll look like as you upgrade, and a bunch of other stuff that we need to see before the game releases. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe here and ring the bell for more videos about Animal Crossing New Horizons and other Nintendo games every Tuesday and Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Also, something I'm debating is doing a giveaway for Animal Crossing New Horizons for subscribers of this channel. Let me know in the comments if you would like that. Also, tell me about your favorite Animal Crossing villager. I need recommendations for Amiibo I should get. Okay, that's it for me. See you next week.